Hey, I wanted to do a video about whether or not you should accept your tinnitus. I've had a couple people say, accepting it is just giving up, and it's just like, pretending like there's nothing wrong when there actually is something wrong, and absolutely you cannot accept it. Have to find a way to, solve the problem. And even if I can't solve the problem, it's still unacceptable. This thinking, let's talk about that. Well, first of all, the best place we can be, and I would like to think, is when we are mentally strong. So we want to first find a place of mental strength, and then from there we can go about solving the problem. But if we're so hung up on solving the problem that our mental strength is not so good, see, that's already a problem and we can't solve it. Yeah. So we have to think about first accepting it, accepting the current situation as it is right now. And as we do that, we can go about improving the situation in the future. But if we don't accept something that we can't fix very easily right now, you see, that's very much a contradiction. We're not able to make any improvement whatsoever. So it's very important that you first find some way to accept that you have tinnitus and that it may be with you for a long time. It may not. I hope not. But I can tell you that through acceptance, progress that you may not even imagine as possible becomes possible. And let me say that again. By accepting it, progress that you think right now is not possible becomes possible. So, I mean, I've, read about so many amazing stories of people who thought they wanted to kill themselves. They thought their life was over. There was nothing that they could do about it. And then you talk to them later and they say, oh my God, I'm so okay now. They probably still have tinnitus in just about every case. There's a few where it goes away, but they're fine. They're living a good life, and tinnitus is not central to their thinking anymore. By accepting it, it starts to make the tinnitus less of something that's so important in your conscious and subconscious thinking. And when it becomes less important, it's easier to tune it out. And it's really amazing how much you can tune it out. But when you're in that place where you believe you cannot, improve, where it just seems so impossible, you will be so surprised how much you can tune it out to the point that it really doesn't affect your life. I think I can go so far as to say at all anymore. I'm not going to say at all, but for me, and I've talked to some other people like me, I've gotten to the point where, yeah, I hear it sometimes. I mean, I pretty much hear it all the time. But I've tuned it out so much that I don't think about it. I don't notice it. And I'm totally okay. And I'm trying to convince some of you who are still holding back and saying, I'm not accepting this. This is awful. Now, acceptance is not something that always comes in the snap of a finger. You're going to have to start talking to yourself about it and saying, okay, because you got some, if you're still having a lot of trouble with tinnitus, you've got some very hardened thoughts going on in there. And you've got to start talking to yourself and saying, maybe the sound isn't that bad. Maybe sometimes I can deal with it. Maybe in the future it'll be easier, and maybe I can tune it out. Actually, there are a lot of things I can do right now while I have tinnitus. It doesn't affect me that much. I can sing a song, I could dance, I could draw, I could write something, I could study a language. There's a lot of things I could do right now. And also, beyond acceptance, I can choose my emotional state toward it. So, like when I'm, say, in some situation where it's really bothering me, I can choose to change the language I use about it. I can choose to say, it's okay. I've got this. I can do this. You know, I don't have to go around saying that I hate the sound and that I can't tolerate it. Because the fact is, I have been making it already, and it's just I'm in that place sometimes where I haven't quite learned how to cope with the challenge, but I can, and then it'll be easier for me. So I have to. So you can say to yourself, you know, I have to study how to cope with this a little bit better. Maybe I have to change my words around. Maybe I have to think about the emotion I'm feeling and see if I can change the emotion a little bit. Maybe it just makes you so angry. Or maybe, well, the worst one is I'm absolutely hopeless and I'm lost. You can turn that one into angry. I'm so tired of this. I'm gonna find a way. Make it a positive anger. I'm gonna find a way. There's got to be a way I can do better than this. You know. And then from anger, you say, just kind of tolerance. I don't really like this, but I'm going to grin and bear it. I'm going to grin and bear it, and I'm going to get through this. But I'm not going to say bad things. I'm going to say nice things because I'm going to be nice to myself. I'm going to stop, can I say, shitting on myself and saying terrible things. And then from tolerance, you say, maybe just a mild acceptance. Okay, I'm going to try to go with this. Sometimes it's a little challenging still, but I'm going to grin and bear it. So you can kind of go through this transition of your emotions and learn to kind of improve your emotional level about the tinnitus. And as you do, the chemistry, the actual chemistry going on in your body can change to the point where your brain doesn't put so much emphasis on the tinnitus, and it really does go into the background, like in an amazing way, where you can just be in a totally quiet room and fall asleep. Or I don't know what it would be challenging to you, but that used to be very challenging to me. That sort of thing. You know, you totally can do that. So I just want to invite you to start thinking about accepting the situation. And by accepting it, it improves the situation. And maybe you still would like to try to find some way to solve this problem. Well, first accept the problem as it is. And learn to get to a higher ground first. You know, like if you're out in the middle of the ocean and all you've got is a raft, you know, you're not say, oh, I hate being on this raft. Oh, this is so terrible. You say, no, I got to find some land or something, you know. I got to find a way to maybe get some water to drink or catch some fish, you know. It kind of sucks being here on this raft, but I've got to find a way, you know, to do something to make the situation a little better. And then one day you may land. You may find land and say, I'm in such a good place now. So I'm here to try to help you do that. And I hope you might think about accepting first. Maybe not forever, but first accept. Okay, have a good day. See you.